Neff Law Firm, 831-6555.
Shoplifting.
Drunk driving.
Personal injury.
Criminal assault. Drug charges.
Adoption.
We can answer your questions and give the legal help you need at reasonable rates. Got a legal problem? Call Neff Law Firm, 831-6555.
Cooler air is on the way. It looks like it'll be about 15 degrees cooler during the afternoon tomorrow, somewhere around the low to mid-70s here in the Twin Cities, but back into the cooler air, 50s and 40s for highs in the western Dakotas, and because of that, a little bit of snow could fall over northern North Dakota, but for us, expect some scattered showers toward morning tomorrow, and then possibly a better chance by tomorrow night as that cooler air cuts into the middle part of the Mississippi Valley. Heavy thunderstorms there. For us overnight tonight, we're expecting to see those clouds increase. Thunderstorm developing toward morning, as I said, about 3 to 4 in the morning, 55 to 60 for overnight lows. By the time you wake up, there could be a scattered thunderstorm around 60. Take the umbrella tomorrow. Those scattered showers are still a possibility in the afternoon, 72 to 77, but the best chance for getting wet, the way it appears now, the latest information in, is tomorrow night, 47 to 52, and for Wednesday, still some scattered showers, 59 to 64. Looking ahead then for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, some more thunder thrown in there on Friday, with high temperatures bouncing between the 60s and the 70s, which is very close to average for this time of the year. Overnight lows should be in the 40s. Because we have some thunderstorms in the forecast for later on tonight and tomorrow, 5 weather facts deal with thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, and the chances of getting one in May on any given day, about 20%. That's not bad. The chances of having hail, though, on any given day in May is only about 2%. The heaviest rain on this day was 1.31 inches in 1933. Strongest wind on this day in the Twin Cities, 67 miles per hour in 1985. And get this one, 2 out of every 3 years, a tornado strikes one of the 5 states on this day. Pretty incredible.
Interesting, it is. Thanks, Dave. Coming up next in sports, Mark Curtis says the NHL folks have been burning the midnight oil over the proposed sale of the North Stars.
While on the ice, the Bruins and the Caps resume their Stanley Cup series. Mark Curtis will show it to you next in sports.
It's a big bucket blitz. Now at participating KFC restaurants, get a big 15-piece bucket of original recipe chicken or a big 15-piece bucket of extra tasty crispy chicken for the small price of $9.99. That's 15 pieces of original recipe or 15 pieces of extra tasty crispy chicken for only $9.99. Either way, it's a small price to pay for a big bucket of chicken. But hurry, offer ends soon.
Sometimes we all need a friend to talk to. And now there's a phone number for you to call when you need to talk to that certain someone. Anytime, 24 hours a day. Perhaps you're looking for advice, or you just want a woman's point of view, or maybe you just need to hear a soft, smiling voice. This is one-to-one conversation, and it's live. Let me be your friend on the other end. $2.49 per minute.
Frank Layden of the Utah Jazz used to say, defense wins ball games.
It does, man. You know, during the season, the Pistons gave up only 98 points a game. That was tops in the NBA, and if you ask anybody on that team why they were so tough defensively, they'll all give you one name, Dennis Rodman. Today, he was named Defensive Player of the Year.
I wanted this one so bad.
Chuck, you need the good sugar.
Rodman, Joe Dumars, Isaiah, and the rest of the Pistons open their Eastern Conference semifinal series against the Knicks tomorrow night. As you can see, he was very emotional. At Chicago tonight, Bulls in white on the break against the Sixers. Michael Jordan in for the jam past Charles Barkley. He hit for 39 tonight as the Bulls down the Sixers in game 1 of their series, 96 to 85. Let's say all your life you wanted to buy a Cadillac and you couldn't have one. Suddenly someone comes up to you and says, okay, I'll get you a Cadillac, but it won't have air conditioning, power seats, or a radio. Yes, it would still be a Cadillac, but how good would it be? That's the question being debated tonight in the NHL. The Guns, the Executive Transfer Committee, and Howard Baldwin have spent literally all day behind closed doors examining the Guns' conditions for the sale. They say they want exclusive Bay Area expansion rights. Not a problem. They want a fixed price on a team. Still not a problem. They want special draft favors, including the #1 pick in next year's draft. It's getting sticky here. But the biggest problem of all is the Guns want a player pool from the North Stars minor league system. Big problem because the NHL believes that it would set a bad precedent. But let's say for the sake of argument that they get what they want and the deal happens. Is the price, as the Guns have set it, too high?
This is the only deal we could have made, and quite frankly, I think we made a real good deal. What you wanted, I assume anyway, was to keep NHL in the Twin Cities, and that's what we've done.
Now, tomorrow's supposed to be the big day. We have Rob Lear in Chicago. We'll be keeping you up to date as things unfold from the league meetings. Meanwhile, the Wells Conference Finals resume tonight at Washington, third period. Bruins and the Caps, Boston and Black behind the net. Craig Janney, watch him, nice pass here to Randy Burridge for a 3-1 Boston lead. It finished 4-1. The Twins open up a 6-game homestand beginning tomorrow night against Cleveland. Tonight, speaking of Cleveland, they lose to Kansas City. Detroit trails Milwaukee in the 9th, Toronto over Chicago. On the coast, the Yankees are trailing Oakland, Boston on top of Seattle, and Baltimore trailing California. National Giants fall to Montreal. San Diego drops 1. Atlanta trailing Chicago in the 9th. Cincinnati Reds blank St. Louis. And Frank Viola went 6-0 tonight when they beat the Houston Astros 7-1.
Thank you, Mark. Well, she is at the head of her class.
Quite literally, and she's a grade above the rest. Tonight, our Thanks to Teachers report salutes Pam Foster of Como Park Elementary.
You can do it, all right? Let's do it.
Next, you'll see how she goes above and beyond to teach our children.
In my opinion, for quantity, price, and taste, the Twin Cities' best chicken wings are at the Chef Cafe on Franklin at Chicago. The Chef Cafe's lightly seasoned chicken wings are cooked to order for eat-in or take-out. But there's more. The Chef Cafe also has party combinations available with chicken wings, shrimp, ribs, coleslaw, French fries, and onion rings. That's the Chef Cafe on Franklin at Chicago. Call 871-8245.
At Twin City Tire, we work on the finest high-performance cars in the world, so we have to know our business. For over 20 years, our customers have trusted us for the best balancing, alignment, and service at the lowest possible prices. We stock the largest inventory of tires and custom wheels in this part of the country. 2 convenient locations, Richfield and Fridley. Come see us today and select your tires from our complete Dunlop line. Tires are our only business, so we have to be the best. Twin City Tire.
All week on Eyewitness News at 10, we will be introducing you to our Thanks to Teachers contest winners.
Tonight, we meet Pam Foster from St. Paul's Como Park Elementary, a teacher making a difference. Here's Wendy Lubavitch.
They grow up apart from the rest of the kids, reminded always of how they are somehow different. But Pam Foster takes those differences and adapts them, one child at a time.
I remember when I first was hired, I didn't even have a gymnasium. I started in the library. We bounced balls off the bookcases.
That was some 30 years ago when few people believed handicapped children could play games or swim in pools. But Pam Foster always believed they could, and she proved it. In the pool or in the playground, what Pam Foster is trying to teach these children is confidence and self-esteem, and the character to survive in a world that isn't always accepting.
And they can do a lot more than people give them credit to. And that's why I think it's exciting. That's the rewards to see what they can do.
Pam Foster, a teacher who deserves a special thanks. I'm Wendy Lubavitch, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And tomorrow night, we'll meet another one of our Thanks to Teachers winners, Kay Graf from Spooner, Wisconsin. She really is a teacher making a difference.
Well, she deserves our honor and a lot of other honors as well. Congratulations to you if you're watching, Pam. That's it for now. Stay tuned for Eyewitness News all night.
Airport Taxi is looking for experienced drivers or couriers. If you're 26 and up, looking for full-time work with high earnings, then Airport Taxi can start you in your own business. At Airport Taxi, you will set your own hours, day or evening. Meet nice clientele throughout the Twin Cities. So if you have a clean driving record, interested in your own business with a low weekly lease, then call Airport Taxi 721-6566. That's 721-6566.
Looking for a new home? Hi, I'm Bonnie Montgomery. Reminding you to watch ERA Real Estate Showcase at 11:30 a.m. Saturday. I'll be looking for you.
If you've been looking for the impossible, a used import like Honda, Toyota, Nissan, or Mazda that looks like new, handles like new, all at a price you can afford. You'll find it at Richfield Mitsubishi, your used import headquarters.
An 86 Pontiac Grand Am, very clean, runs great, 3888, or an 86 Nissan Pulsar, 5-speed air, sunroof, low miles, 4444.
Richfield Mitsubishi, just 5 minutes west of the airport and east of 494 and 35W. Call 861-7800.
Sometimes we all need a friend to talk to. And now there's a phone number for you to call when you need to talk to that certain someone. Anytime, 24 hours a day. Perhaps you're looking for advice or a woman's point of view. Or maybe you just need to hear a soft, smiling voice. This is one-to-one conversation, and it's live. Let me be your friend on the other end. $2.49 per minute.
KSTP, Channel 5, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News all night, floodwaters like these continue to plague the Southwest, forcing residents to prepare for evacuation at this hour. Is this the famous Doogie Howser, MD, or just someone with the same credentials? We'll tell you about a 12-year-old pre-med student. And if you like the greyhounds in the dog races, you may want to adopt one. We'll tell you about some new homes for these racers. All these stories, plus a check on our weather and sports, are next.
Now, from your 24-hour news station, this is Eyewitness News all night.
Good morning, I'm Dave Taylor. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news, another child has died from the latest measles outbreak in the Twin Cities. It is the third Southeast Asian child to die from the disease in the past week. Officials at Minneapolis Children's Hospital say the victim is a 1-year-old boy. A 10-month-old girl died Friday, and early last week, a 14-month-old child died from measles. The latest figures on the measles outbreak shows that St. Paul has 242 confirmed or suspected cases. That's about 80% of the cases in the entire state. Half involve Southeast Asian children. Many have not been immunized because parents turn to a different medicine. This is a shaman, a Hmong medicine man. Local health officials say they are competing against this ethnic tradition, but most shamans say they also tell patients to also see Western doctors. However, some Hmong families trust the shamans. Meanwhile, Ramsey County nurses are going door to door to make sure Southeast Asian babies have received their immunization shots. Also, the St. Paul Health Department has a 24-hour-a-day hotline for anyone who wants more information about where and when to get measles shots. Number is 292-7746. The measles shots are free if parents cannot afford to get them. Well, six fire departments are right now battling a major fire at a logging company in Lanesboro, Minnesota, which is in the southeast part of the state. The fire at Reese Logging has been burning for several hours and is expected to last well into today. Officials suspect it was started by internal combustion in a pile of sawdust. Flames at one point were visible for up to 30 miles away. Firefighters say the fire is being contained. No homes have been threatened, and there have been no injuries reported. In Washington, D.C. today, prosecutors will argue to have videotape admitted into evidence, which they say shows Mayor Marion Barry buying and using cocaine. Gary Reels reports there is new evidence that shows Barry allegedly had been using cocaine for a long time.
Mayor Barry was pressing the flesh and hugging kids at what strongly resembled a campaign stop, but he wasn't taking questions from the press.
About those court papers today? Got anything to say about the hair sample?
On the night of his arrest at the Vista Hotel, Mayor Barry permitted federal agents to take a sample of his hair. Using a new technique of hair analysis, laboratory experts have now concluded Barry had used cocaine repeatedly over the 6-week period immediately prior to his arrest, a period of time in which the mayor never saw Charles Lewis or Rashida Moore. Prosecutors also disclosed that numerous witnesses are now prepared to testify. From 1984 to 89, they saw Barry repeatedly use cocaine. From 1987 to 89, they frequently saw the mayor use crack. And on scores of occasions, the mayor provided drugs to, obtained them from, or used them with more than 10 persons other than Lewis and Moore.
More indictments are expected against Barry by Thursday. Flooding is still a problem in the Southwest. 2 weeks of torrential rainfall in north-central Texas is making its effects known further south. The Trinity River is expected to flood downstream of the Dallas area. Residents of Liberty County, just north of Houston, are bracing for the floods. People in the low-lying areas are also preparing to evacuate. In Oklahoma, the water level at Lake Texhoma is finally going down, but the wind is kicking up, and that could mean even bigger problems. Homes only slightly damaged by the floods could be destroyed by high winds and waves. The lake on the Texas-Oklahoma line has crested to a record 644.76 feet above sea level. That's nearly 5 feet above the overflow spillway. This is only the second time water has flowed over those spillways since the dam was built. The death toll in the floods in the Southwest is now up to 13. Time now for a check on the current weather conditions. Cliff Michelson joins us from the Weather Center. And Cliff, boy, it was really a nice day yesterday.
It certainly was. A lot of wind, though, Dave. Some strong gusty winds, in some places gusting to 40 miles per hour. But our first day temp temperature into the 90s, which is kind of nice for this time of the year.
I was going to say it was a warm wind because it was really kind of dry.
Especially from the south and west. But, Dave, the good news is, as we take a look at our radar, we do have some moisture coming. And it has been the lack of moisture that has had people concerned over the last few weeks, because we really need to get some more back into the ground. We are about a half an inch below normal for the month so far. Here's our radar shot from the Channel 5 Weather Services. You can see from Marshall up toward Montevideo and Alexandria, some scattered rain coming down. And on a line about 10 miles wide from Wilmer, running northeast to southwest, there's a nice little thunder shower going on. This activity, for the most part, is moving to the northeast at around 15 miles per hour. And we are expecting this to be clipping the northern part of the 7-county metro during the next hour or so. But there is yet some more stacked up down to the south and west, which should be arriving later during the morning hours. Now, this won't be our major amount of precip that we're expecting. I am seeing some more coming in later on Tuesday night and Wednesday with some broad spread rains with an area of low pressure to the south traveling up to the north and east. So that's going to be our best shot for some more measurable precip. But at least this is a start to get some water back into the ground. There right now is no severe weather reported for any of these showers at all, so sleep well. Here's your forecast as I see it this morning. Showers and thunderstorms early this morning. They're becoming partly cloudy later on this afternoon, but look at the daytime temps. Going to be dropping down around 20 degrees cooler than they were yesterday, back down to about 70 degrees for the daily high day.
All right, we need some rain, so I guess that's pretty good news.
And we're getting our wish.
Okay, we'll check back with you later, Cliff.
See you in about 20.
All right, thanks. It's now 6 minutes after the hour. We'll be right back with more news. But first, let's take a look at today's market.
He thinks he could do that to me, and I won't tell anyone? Well, I am telling.
Here's startling secret confessions. Call 1-900-370-9200.
I'm too embarrassed to tell my best friend, but I've got to tell someone.
Listen in privacy to women sharing their innermost feelings. Call 1-900-370-9200.
I can't believe you're telling me this.
Secret confessions. Call 1-900-370-9200. $2 for the first minute, $1 for each additional minute for adults only.
Spring is home improvement time. Time for you to save at Menards. Brighten your home with Glidden Spread House Exterior Latex Flat Paint. Choose from many pre-mixed colors, just $10.88 a gallon. And the Campbell Hausfeld air compressor gives you the power you need for painting and air tools and more. On sale now, starting at just $156. Make your spring home improvements with help from Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Live at 5 is just fun, informative, laid back, comfortable.
For most people, Live at 5 is the first newscast of the evening.
Whether it be finances, daycare, the hottest trends for families, you'll get it.
It's nice to have a doctor on the team to put it all in perspective.
For your first news of the afternoon, watch Eyewitness News Live at 5.
Channel 5. We are Minnesota's news channel.
When you see news happen, call the Eyewitness News tip line.
The 10th Annual Minnesota Music Awards are history this morning. This year's program was held at the Radisson Hotel in St. Paul. This group, the reggae band Ipso Facto, was among those taking top honors. They won Group of the Year. Others who won big last night, Boiled in Lead won for Album of the Year with From the Ladle to the Grave. The Replacements picked up the Single of the Year with I'll Be You. Artist of the Year went to Ann Reed. J.D. Steele won Vocalist of the Year. And as we just mentioned, Group of the Year honors went to ipso facto. Women at the College of St. Catherine's in St. Paul are rallying to protect the school's 85-year tradition of not accepting men. Hundreds of students protested on the grounds yesterday. The demonstration was sparked by another all-women's college, Mills College in Oakland, California, and their decision to accept men. The protesters say co-ed education often slights women.
So men represent only 10% of the college classroom population. They garnered 25% of the attention.
In the past 8 years, enrollment at St. Catherine's has gone up every year except last year, and it appears to be on the rise again. Every year, the senior class at Mills College donates money to their school from their graduation fund. This year, that money is being donated to St. Catherine's in protest of the decision to go co-ed. Another pilot is accused of flying while intoxicated, this time at the Flying Cloud Airport in Eden Prairie. Police arrested a 22-year-old pilot of a Cessna plane after flying 4 passengers from Lincoln, Nebraska to the Twin Cities. The Federal Aviation Administration tipped off police the pilot may have been drinking. Police are waiting for results of an alcohol test, and charges are pending. The man accused of driving a Cannon Falls school bus while intoxicated makes his first court appearance today. The incident occurred in March after a woman smelled alcohol on the school bus driver's breath and notified police. This is the driver, Marlon Durdahl, as Eyewitness News tried to speak with him in March. Police pulled Durdahl over and arrested him after he failed a field sobriety test and a breathalyzer test. The pretrial hearings are in Goodhue County District Court. Durdahl has pleaded not guilty in the case. In case you may have missed this from our earlier newscast, police are investigating 2 separate incidents where cars were shifted into neutral and then ran over children. This 3-year-old boy was injured Sunday when he climbed into his family's unlocked car and put it into gear. The car rolled backwards. He jumped out and ran behind it to try and stop it. Last Saturday, 6-year-old Megan Russell of Edina died after she was run over by her babysitter's car, which had accidentally slipped into neutral. If you wear contact lenses or have chronic eye irritation, this next story will be of special interest to you. Some 2,800 bottles of the non-prescription sterile eye wash, Ocumed, are being recalled. Ocumed's manufacturers, Rugby Laboratories, says the problem is a bacterial contamination that could cause serious eye infections and possibly blindness. The 4-ounce plastic bottles are stamped on the bottom with lot number N4189. You can send the bottles back to the manufacturer for a full refund. Also being recalled, 8 models of the 1985 Plymouth and Dodge cars. The Environmental Protection Agency says Chrysler is conducting a recall on the models because they have flunked federal exhaust emission standards. The nearly 400,000 cars, all with 2.5-liter engines, include the Plymouth Horizon, Tursimo, the Reliant, and the Dodge Omni, Charger, and Aries. The strike against the Greyhound Bus Company is over, according to the bus line, but not according to the striking bus drivers. Greyhound's chairman calls the 2-month-old strike irrelevant and says it is effectively over. The union is denouncing the announcement as a scare tactic against the strikers. President Bush's wife, Barbara, is on her first solo foreign mission this morning. She flew to Central America to head a U.S. delegation at today's inauguration for Costa Rica's president. If you are a fan of the ABC show Doogie Howser, M.D., you will want to listen to this next story. Roland Watts may have found the model for that show. There's a 12-year-old who is a 3rd-year pre-med student at New York University.
Chances are you probably would not even notice Balamarati Krishna Ombati walking among the students on NYU's campus. I mean, after all, he fits right in at 5 feet, 8 inches tall. But Bala may just well be famous one day for being a baby doctor. No, not a pediatrician, a real baby of a doctor. You see, he's only 12 and already in his 3rd year of pre-med school at NYU, with hopes of being the youngest doctor ever by the time he's only 17.
Thinking about ophthalmology and cardiology.
How does it feel to be 12 years old and breathe?
Feels just fine. Enjoying your childhood and being good at academics is not mutually exclusive, because I do play sports, I do play video games, and I do a lot of other things that 12-year-olds do, but at the same time, I have time to excel in academics.
He's a whiz of a special kid, almost like TV's Doogie Howser, M.D., that fictional character who becomes a teenage doctor. But the real genius here mastered calculus at the age of 4, described himself on his college application as a prodigy with a purpose, and who now holds a 3.8 grade point average, and last year published a book on AIDS with his then 18-year-old brother.
Why did you decide to become a doctor?
At the age of 3, I spilled a pot of boiling water on myself, and I was in the hospital for 3 months. And I suffered a lot, and I saw many other kids suffer. And at that point, I wanted to pursue a profession that would allow me to assuage human suffering.
Wonder if he's got a little PC computer that he types his journal into, like Doogie. Well, it's now 15 minutes after the hour. We'll be right back with a complete look at sports.
For your next special occasion or getaway, rekindle the romance in a Fantasuite suite. They're fun. They're playful. They're out of the ordinary. They're romantic. Put the romance back in your relationship with a Fantasuite suite.
So I told him to come on up.
Hear shocking, intriguing, true confessions. Call 1-900-246-1212.
I promised that I wouldn't tell a soul, but if you really want to know...
Dial 1-900-246-1212 for fascinating, even alarming innermost secrets.
I didn't think I'd have the nerve, but what could I say? I really like him.
That's 1-900-246-1212. $2 for the first minute, 95 cents for each additional minute for adults only.
A U.S. Olympic Festival 90 sports event. Absolutely anyone can win.
All right, folks, we're here with Joe Athlete. It's his first time competing. Let's look closely now at the action. He picks up his ticket to win game call, and he registers to win. And the excitement continues to build. Let's see what the judges give him. A trip to the Olympics.
Winning is easy. Visit participating McDonald's to pick up your ticket to win game card and register. Then listen to KS95 and watch Channel 5 Eyewitness News to find out you are a winner.
Time now for sports, and Mark Curtis joins us. And Mark, when you think of the NBA, you don't really think about defense a lot, do you?
No, but remember last year, Joe Dumars finished third in the voting. I should say Dennis Rodman finished third in the voting for Defensive Player of the Year. He was very upset by that because he thought he should have finished higher.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that has made a name for himself, really, on defensive ability.
He said a year ago that he was going to sacrifice everything he did offensively to become the best defensive player in the league, and it finally happened for him. During the season, the Pistons gave up only 98 points a game. That was tops in the NBA, and if you ask anybody on that team why they were so tough defensively, they'll all give you one name, Dennis Rodman. Yesterday, in a very emotional moment for him, he was named Defensive Player of the Year.
It was so bad.
Rodman, Joe Dumars, Isaiah, and the rest of the Pistons will open their Eastern Conference semifinal series against the Knicks later tonight. At Chicago last night, Bulls in white on the break against the Sixers. Michael Jordan goes in for the slam past Charles Barkley. He hit for 39 last night as the Bulls down the Sixers in Game 1 of their series, 96-85. Let's say all your life you wanted to buy a Cadillac, and you couldn't have one. Suddenly someone came up to you and said, okay, I'll give you a Cadillac, but it won't have air conditioning, power seats, or a radio. Yes, it would still be a Cadillac, but how good would it be? That's the question being debated tonight by the NHL, the Guns, and the Executive Transfer Committee, and Howard Baldwin. They spent literally all day yesterday behind closed doors examining the Guns' conditions for the sale of the team. They say they want exclusive Bay Area expansion rights. Not a problem. They want a fixed price on an expansion team. Still not a problem. They want special draft favors, including the #1 pick in next year's draft. Maybe getting a little bit sticky. But the biggest problem of all is the Guns want a player pool from the North Stars minor league system. Big problem, because the NHL believes that it would set a bad precedent. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that they get what they want and the deal goes through. Is the price, as the Guns have set it, too high?
It is the only deal we could have made, and quite frankly, I think we made a real good deal. What you wanted, I assume anyway, was to keep NHL in the Twin Cities, and that's what we've done.
All right, so today's the big day. We have Rob Lear in Chicago. We'll be keeping you up to date as things unfold from the league meetings. Meanwhile, Wales Conference Finals resumed last night at Washington, third period. Bruins in the Caps, Boston in black, operating behind the net. Craig Janney to Randy Bird for a 3-1 Boston lead. It finished 4-1. By the way, as we wrap up, Terry Crisp fired as coach of the Calgary Flames yesterday, less than a year after leading the Flames to their one and only Stanley Cup championship. So much for loyalty, but the Flames brass was upset by their early departure from the playoffs. Twins open up a homestand against Cleveland later on tonight at the Dome. And right now, here's a look at all the sports.
Someone's going to have to start beating Oakland so the Twins can get back in the Western Division race. Cliff Michelson is next with another look at the Eyewitness News all-night forecast, so stay tuned.
At Twin City Tire, we work on the finest high-performance cars in the world, so we have to know our business. For over 20 years, our customers have trusted us for the best balancing, alignment, and service at the lowest possible prices. We stock the largest inventory of tires and custom wheels in this part of the country. 2 convenient locations, Richfield and Fridley. Come see us today and select your tires from our complete Dunlop line. Tires are our only business, so we have to be the best. Twin City Tire.
So I told him to come on up.
Hear shocking, intriguing, true confessions. Call 1-900-246-1212.
I promised that I wouldn't.